I mean, just when you thought things couldn't get any dumber. It's about 1:30 p.m. West Coast time on Tuesday, April 22nd. At the White House press briefing today, Carolyn Levitt had a special guest, and she let her special guest ask a question. Her special guest was Tim Pool, a right-wing MAGA podcaster who is completely bald, despite being in his mid-30s, something like that. And so he always wears a knit hat, a beanie. And he was wearing a hat in the White House press room for an official White House press briefing, and he was wearing a hoodie and a beanie. And she let him ask a question. She let him ask a question about Kilmar Abrego Garcia and his deportation, which Tim Pool labeled as the Maryland man hoax. She invited Tim Pool to the White House press briefing as a member of new media, and he was allowed to ask the very first question during the White House press briefing while sitting off to the side wearing a beanie and a hoodie. He asked the following: many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called as the Maryland man hoax, Pool said, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by two different judges, I believe, is just simply referred to as a Maryland man over and over again. I'm wondering if you can comment on their unprofessional behavior. He said that in the room with all of these people. This is where we're at, guys. This is where we're at with White House press briefings. Carolyn Levitt said the press in this room have the story wrong. We were always right. The president was always on the right side of this issue to deport this illegal criminal from our community. Kilmar Abrego Garcia has never been convicted of a crime in the United States, and he has never been convicted of a crime in El Salvador, where he now sits in prison, possibly for the rest of his life. And it is despicable to see the media continue to refer to this individual as someone who was just a peaceful man living in his life in Maryland, which is exactly what he was doing with his wife, who's a U.S. citizen, and their three children, who are U.S. citizens, one of whom has autism. Without offering evidence, Carolyn Levitt insisted that Mr. Abrego Garcia is, was, and always has been an illegal criminal, an MS-13 gang member, and a designated foreign terrorist? So he was born that way? Is, was, and always has been? And the administration maintains our position to deport these individuals from the community, she concluded. These people have lost their fucking minds. These people have completely lost their minds. The White House press office invited Tim Pool to a press briefing in a hoodie and his little beanie to cover up his complete baldness, and let him ask the very first question, and that was the question that he asked. I don't even have words.